All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, summoners, gamers, and spectators of all ages. My name is Basket of Knives. I am joined by the mighty Mito himself, and we are here for the Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open 2023, coming at you from Columbus, Ohio, at the Game Arena location, located just south of Ohio State's campus. We have two best-of-3 semifinals coming your way. The one we are viewing currently is Ohio State's teams. We have OSU Gray on the blue side and OSU Scarlet on the red side. Mito, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. I am ready to go. My voice is back from yelling about the Ohio State Notre Dame game last weekend, and I am ready for this game. We are jumping right into our first set of bands here. We got Jarvan and Jace, the side of Ohio State Gray band out, and Amumu as the current band for OSU Scarlet, followed by the Lilia.
Yeah, so it looks like right now Scarlet's really trying to control what Gray can go for in the jungle. It's interesting seeing that both OSU teams going up against each other, kind of knowing what each other like to play, so able to really focus on maybe even just banning out one player.
Absolutely. These are sister teams. They both compete with each other on a regular basis, so now they get the chance to go head to head, and they get to see what they can do, as well as kind of really limit test here, because they know each other's strategies. They know how each other work. So definitely to your point, we get to kind of see how they'll definitely adapt to knowing each other so well in this best-of-3. First pick being through for OSU Gray, Kaisa, a very powerful first pick here. Can be used in mid as well as bottom, but typically now with all the nerfs to Static Shiv is usually relegated just to being a bottom laner.
Yeah, and then we see over on the side of Scarlet electing to go with the Xayah. Probably like those are the top two ADCs right now. I think that we've definitely seen in the tournament so far. And then going with the Rel, one of my personal favorite tank supports. She has so much go in potential, and after her rework with the stun on her Q now, I feel like she's just a really strong engage pick.
Oh, absolutely. Such a strong pick, and also a potential flex pick as well, because you can still utilize that Rel in the jungle, but is typically seen just as a support here. Rakan being the other pick, so guaranteeing that OSU Scarlet does not get the Xayah Rakan lovers duo, but that likely it's still going to be a great pick going into the Rel, getting that CC knockup, preventing some of that all engaged that Scarlet might be looking for.
Yeah, and you know, now that they have that Rakan on their side, they both know that they're going to be going in super engaged, and now also electing to pick up the Zac here. So they're going to have a very much so go in team with two very strong tanks able to make it through. And Scarlet, of course, hopping right back on that trend with a pretty good engage of their own when it comes to jungle, and disengage with that alt. Poppy will be able to get Xayah out of some of those sticky situations if something were to arise there.
Yep, and the Poppy pick, actually such a powerful pick that they do have now, because of already you've got the Zac engaged with the elastic slingshot, you've got the Rakan quickness and grand entrance, you've got a lot of tools that OSU Gray wants to go in with that Scarlet's going to be able to say them no.
Yeah, and now they're really just kind of thinking about what they want to do ban-wise here. You see they already have their bot lane and their jungle picks, so now you're looking at, okay, what kind of top laners are we scared of, or what kind of mid laners do we not want to see here? And both of those seem to be fairly open right now when it comes to plays. It seems like the Azir is going to get banned out here from Gray, so really good engage that could have been used for Scarlet there. It seems like both of these teams liked their all-in sort of play style right now with how much just engaged they get.
Yeah, definitely both teams are looking to pick fights. They want to be able to win any sort of team fight right now. Both are building very well for it, but we have not seen the soul laners yet, and those can definitely define with if we're going to be going for lots of split push or just 5v5 team fight. So there's a lot available for both sides, the OSU Scarlet and Gray, to be able to bring. Already double mid laners banned out for Gray, as well as we've got two top laners banned out currently for the side of Scarlet, and we'll see if we get a third one here. I don't recall what that, doesn't show what the ban was for Scarlet on the one side. However, it clearly is not Renekton, as Renekton is now the pick for the side of Scarlet.
And Gray going down to the wire here, trying to figure out who they want to go with, and going with the Cassante here. Cassante into Renekton, that could be a very scary matchup. I feel like the Renekton kind of has the edge in words of sustain at least during the start of team fights there. Going forward, I feel like that Cassante just has so much tankiness to him that he won't have to worry about it as much, but time will tell.
Yep, and they round it on out with a Syndra mid. Strong bit of team fight as well as some disengage for some of how Scarlet's going to want to go in. The Cassante will be a powerful pick. It does still jump into the whole dash composition that the jungle Poppy can really heavily negate. So it'll be very interesting to see how OSU Scarlet wants to navigate these team fights. And rounding out the side of Scarlet most likely is going to be the Orianna. So Scarlet is definitely, both teams are definitely going for a team fight oriented composition, but Scarlet definitely has a little bit more tools to work with to help disrupt these team fights.
100% agree, especially that Orianna pick. You could be throwing that onto the Rel as they're going into the fight and then immediately using that ult. So you're either going to be getting those players, of course, stuck inside of that, or two, you're going to get a lot of those flashes out and make them use a lot of their utility to disengage from the fight rather than do what they most likely want to do here, which is being the ones to make those steps forward.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And I think that this is going to be a very, very interesting game one. Both these teams are not shying away from wanting to fight. They want to set up for fights. They want to go for some 5v5s. So we should definitely have a very interesting time here in this first game of our semifinal matchup. Two teams enter, one team will leave. There's a guaranteed Ohio State versus Cincinnati final, so we get to see who's better, Columbus or Cincinnati, coming up here in a few hours. But for now, we've got two Ohio State teams, the Scarlet and the Gray, going head to head. Mito, based on what you're seeing right now, what are you thinking in terms of who's got this? Do you think it's OSU Gray or OSU Scarlet for this game one?
Tough to tell, of course, just from looking at this lineup here. It's going to really be down to how they play it. But if I were to make the guess, I'd say Scarlet probably has at least a better engage when it comes to worrying about how they're going to be ganking these lanes. Poppy, of course, they're going to be able to knock them back. They won't be focusing too much on this Syndra, I don't believe, unless they find themselves really far pushed up. So I don't see them making a silly mistake like that. It'll probably be more so oriented towards this Cassante early on there. And then if they're able to snowball off of that, maybe down towards bot. So I think this game is really just going to be about which jungler is able to get their laners fed first.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And I think that it's going to be a game of unforced errors with both these teams. Who gets the objective first, who gets the better setup, and who gets to play the game that they want to play the game. But we've heard enough from us for a moment. We're going to cut it to a quick break here. But when we return, we'll be on the rift for game one of these semifinals matchup, OSU Gray versus OSU Scarlet. All right, everyone, welcome to Summoner's Rift, and Ohio State is wasting no time at all getting right into the fight. We've got Ohio State Gray on the blue side, Ohio State Scarlet on the red side. And once again, my name is Basket of Knives. I am joined by Mito in this game one of this semifinal matchup.
Yeah, and excited I am. I don't know about the players here. I don't know about you, but I feel like this is going to be a really good match. Like we stated before, sisters teams going into this. It's gonna be fun no matter what. Oh,
absolutely, it's going to be a fun time. We got a couple wards down for the most part, just some normal posturing going. However, OSU Cyborg might be a little caught out. He should have enough safety as Renekton early to get out of there, but is looking like he's just getting some vision down, trying to establish vision control for these junglers, because there's going to be a lot of fighting going on here. Already some trading of auto attack blows between our Orianna and our Syndra, both actually chunking each other decently hard.
Yeah, and Orianna had that shield there, so in hopes that they would win that trade, unfortunately wasn't quite able to, because those minions just aggroed onto them so fast that it ended up just being more in favor of that Syndra. But bot lane right now, Knight getting ready to go in here, it looks like.
Yep, Knight is definitely looking for his opening. They want to try to see if they can get this level 2 first on this second wave. So we'll see between the Xayah or the Kaisa who gets those first. We're procking some of those Targon procs.
Oh, and
the Knight's going on in, getting locked on up. Khan here, and might be first blood, and indeed it is first blood over to Blue, who's on the red side, with the assist of Knight's Rel as well as the Ignite.
Good job by them. They played that very well. They knew that their level 2 spike was coming in and actually decided to go for it a little after engaging into that fight there. So that way they could get, I think, a little bit more of a heal boost leveling up there onto second, just in case maybe they were to go down a little bit during that fight. But ultimately, taking it over and now just getting this wave under tower as fast as possible.
Yep, wanting to get that wave under tower, potentially look for a reset or even a potential roam. Remember, this Rel is very strong at all points in the game once you can dismount with her. So Knight's going to be looking for a roam here while Blue goes on the recall.
Yeah, Knight going right behind. Well, no, maybe they might have noticed they were spotted by Vision, maybe seeing someone playing a little awkward. Knight, though, stucking a little bit of a pinch here, but of course able to get out of that as they should.
Yep, not too much issue for the Rel once you're not able to really get out of those situations pretty quickly. And even actually on the side of Ohio State Scarlet, you have 5 fire going for the blue crystal start, like so the sapphire crystal start instead of a D-ring. So really trying to pressure into getting as early as possible on that lost chapter. And while she takes a little bit of the disadvantageous trade early, gets the opportunity to go in, but immediately you've got Zach jumping on in. Blue tried to jump away, but he forgot that he's not on the blue team. He's on the red team and goes on down, giving Haganagra the first kill. Actually, no, not even giving that to him. It went over to 5150, giving Kais a bit of a kill. And we've got another fight going in here. Poppy getting jumped on, however, and getting knocked back with the flash and pull together, but barely getting on out thanks to that command protect from the side of fire.
Yeah, great. Realizing that they were the man up no matter what there because Blue being sent back to spawn after a very nice gank there from the Zac. You just always have to be afraid of angles like that happening. And they were playing farther back. They were expecting something like that possibly to come through here. But of course, when it comes to Zac, it doesn't matter how far back you are, just if you can make it out in time. So very good play by them here as trying to just control the rest of the map here. There's vision all over this bot river. Somehow, no gank happening towards top lane right now. Very heavily focused on towards mid and bot currently.
Yeah, but a massive lead that Cyborg's put in his pocket from CSY. Being up 2 waves, you're going to get a little bit back on the side of Cassante here, but really setting us up to success. Really, Knight flashes over the wall, and Poppy comes on in. Miller gets the kill, punishing the Syndra, who's just trying to get this wave set up for going on the recall. Didn't even have time to burn her flash, accepted her fate, and should be able to teleport right back in as she will. Coming in with not too good of a buy. Sapphire Crystal boots and a good old-fashioned ring here. It's not going to Darkseal. It's not going to do too much for her as the Lost Chapter comes in for fire and also teleports back in the lane.
Yeah, I think right now they're probably just hoping that they can get this wave in a spot to where they can chip down that Orianna a bit and maybe the Zac can come in and look for a gank. Right now, though, I mean, they had such a good engage there. They have that Hex Flash in the rune set for Knight, so they probably should be expecting it to happen again. So maybe some vision oriented down towards those Raptors just in case they decide that they want to go back for seconds. But Cyborg right now looks like they're just going in. They're having a feast right now. Like you said, the CS advantage is insane as blue team takes our first drag.
Yeah, with just some of the resets that came in, they saw the opportunity to grab that first Cloud Dragon and were able to get that all done, giving themselves a bit of an advantage here. But still, the goal advantage is on the side of Ohio State Scarlet. Got a bit of a freeze frame here, and there we go. Now we're back.
Just a wee bit of a hiccup, but yeah, no, Scarlet being up a little over 1,000, that should help them out hopefully here. It seems like most of that is actually probably going to be pointed towards the top lane here as we talked about that CS advantage. But right now it looks like the Orianna trying to be as aggressive as possible right now. We can see the Renekton going through the jungle, maybe just trying to clear the camps, but they're about to get ganked here. Fire has to try to find a way out of this as they're going to be speeding right towards them.
Yeah, will Fire be able to make it out? Gets hit by the Scatter of the Weak, but does not have the follow-up.
And we can see the players here from Scarlet actually kind of surrounding mid lane. They're going in to maybe try to pick up that fight, noticing that they used a little bit of utility there. Maybe be able to do something, doesn't seem like they will. Rakan sitting underneath that tower just to protect the Syndra, knowing how many players right now are just surrounding them.
Yep, looks like it's probably going to be a fairly low kill game for at least the first little bit. It's going to be a ticking time bomb between these two teams wanting to get ready for that big fight once it comes to this second or third dragon, or maybe even around this Rift Herald we might see something.
Right now, looks
He's
like
looking it in on the Rakan. Might have found a way on in. However, with the steadfast presence being worn off, should be an easy way to get it out. Sky of the Week comes in. However, Miller is a bit too tanky for Rakan and a 10 HP Syndra to deal with.
They don't want to really go in on that, but you know who does want to go in is this Zac right now.
Yep, and Unleashed Power coming in, and Fire is weak. He is on fire and immediately gets blown up. 5150 dive bombs on in and takes that kill. 2-0 here on the Kai'Sa for the side of OSU Gray.
Yeah, and that shortens that gold gap just a little bit more here, which actually should probably bring it in now that this Syndra is going to be able to free farm for a little bit. Hopefully has that lost chapter now in their hands, and now a stack on the Darkseal as well. Despite losing a little bit early on here, the Syndra might be able to find their way back into the game.
Yeah, might be able to find their way back in the game. However, is without a flash, so you will not be able to dodge that shockwave the moment that Fire wants to utilize it, and didn't get the kill either. So it's all on the Kai'Sa, who's currently doing the Flavor of the Week Kai'Sa build, which is your Umbral Glaive first item. It's just very economical in terms of value. You got a little bit of posturing around here, and Fire immediately just demolishes the side of 2MC. Evening up that score and securing a bit of a good lead here on the side of OSU Scarlet for the mid lane, as we have Miller soloing out the Rift Herald. OSU Scarlet feeling a little bit too weak to be able to take that fight.
Yeah, and it looks like they want to take this over towards the top lane, trying to force an engage here onto the Cassante.
Oh, great job with Cassante buffering the Hoppy ultimate to dodge it on out, and is able to escape the jungle gank with some great mechanics as well as that all out.
Yeah, Honeyguard's looking, maybe they want to try to go for a little bit of a counter gank, but decides against it here as they know that it's probably too little too late. Maybe I should be taking a look over towards mid. Do they make it around the vision in time right now? Fire still pushed up fairly far in this lane. They might be able to actually get something done here.
Yeah, he was looking for the Elastic Zoom shot. However, Fire was wise to the situation and said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stay off to this right side and not deal with it. But looking at it now, we're 10 minutes into the game. Still a close game, but about a 1.5k gold lead for the side of OSU Scarlet. A Rift Herald to their name, but the Dragon advantage currently on the side of OSU Gray. So still a very tight game here, as we have Knight looking to maybe go in, but just trying to deny some CS here from the side of 5150.
Yeah, and now it looks like they're trying to get themselves set up for drag here. You don't want to be going down to drag so early on, especially when you know that you have this gold advantage. You want to try to use it and continue going off of that here. Looks like they're going to get some vision ready, though. Bot lane looked like they were going to back off, but decided not to. Might be going all in on this Kai'Sa potentially here. Rakan using that ultimate, though.
Yeah, the quickness is popped, but it really does a whole lot of nothing. I believe he was thinking that we might have Zac come on in for a gank, but didn't really find the angle. And with that ultimate on cooldown, I'm thinking that Scarlet's going to have the advantage here on this Hex Dragon coming up here in 10 seconds. That's why nobody wanted to reset. They wanted to be able to position and gain control of this dragon. We've got Cyborg and QAQ going for a bit of a fight here, but I don't think there's going to come anything from it. And Scarlet's looking like they are going to rotate on over to this Hex Dragon, set ourselves up for whatever the next dragon will be the stolen map. So let's see what we've got here. I don't see a world where Gray's going to contest for this, and it looks like they are recalling, they're resetting, and they're giving this one up. The Scarlet's going to even out the dragon score here with the Hex Dragon.
Yeah, and I mean, smart call by Gray. There's no way you go into that fight and knowing you're going to win it. But maybe this top lane fight seems winnable here as the Cassante going for a favorable trade. But as I say that, of course, the Renekton has that lifesteal able to put them back in.
Yep, definitely a bit of a mystic battle. Command Shockwave comes in for Fire, getting himself out of a sticky situation here. However, here comes the Zac bounce. The Poppy Hammer swings and misses, however. Jumping into the wall, Zac's forced to pop the flash. The passive is procced. Here comes Cyborg. Here comes the Scarlet. They're looking to take down the Gray, however. The passive with the teleport. However, here comes the side of Knight, and he is unfortunately sent to the gray as he goes on down. But we trade a 1-for-1 jungle for support. Plus, you got the teleport out of QAQ. I call that worth on the side of OSU Scarlet.
100%. And I mean, especially because Cyborg still has theirs online, so they're going to be up that going into the next fight here. They still, of course, also have Fire's teleport. So if there's going to be a team fight happening, potentially at bot lane, maybe you need someone to come and assist you at top. Maybe you just want to get back to lane. Right now, Scarlet is sitting pretty. They are controlling this map right now.
Yep, we've got Blue and 5150 looking for a fight. A huge chunk of damage from Blue. That Zaya with having level 2 dudes as well as the Kraken Slayer. Our Cyborg might getting caught out, forced to flash to try to get out of the Zac gank here. Rift-Tailed is stunned in bottom lane. It's going to guarantee first tower down for the side of OSU Scarlet. And still also an item advantage on the side of Fire versus 2M, already being up that mythic item, going for that Leandri's Torment. So in a pretty strong position, it looks like OSU Scarlet is going to look to try to guide this Rift-Herald in for another charge. We'll see if Gray allows it.
Will soon fall.
Looks like they're probably able to stop it in time. Now it looks, ooh, seems like there's going to be something going down here at mid as the Zac just jumps right in on top.
Fire is caught out. Fire is getting put through the bounce house. The shockwave. Will it be enough? It will not be enough. The Unleashed Power comes on down. The red buff also helps. Miller is trying to get on out. Miller's looking for the Poppy Hammer. Absolutely ejects Zac out of the fight. Looks like we are still back to a bit of even. However, about 5K on the lead. Blue's getting jumped on. Blue is taken down. And also Knight is going to join him. A huge blow, a huge counterplay. Thanks to the side of OSU Scarlet with the power of the Scout of the Week and the Grand Entrance, getting all that CC, taking down Blue and taking down Knight with him.
Yeah, I mean, they have those kills, but how are they going to really get themselves back in? They got to try to push this wave as fast as they can. They're not going to be able to take the tower. No objectives up, so yeah, it's nice. They're able to get a couple kills in here. A lot more stacks on that Dark Seal is probably the best thing they really got out of that fight here, as the gold lead still in Scarlet's side. And it looks like, yeah, they aren't going to be able to get anything. So backing off now, Scarlet a little worried about that fight maybe, but surely not shaken up.
Yeah, definitely not too shaken up from that one, but they do need to be careful as all these champions scale really well into late game, and getting any of these shutdowns, any of these kills over can be an issue. OSU Scarlet first 2-second Rift Herald over to Shirley here, and I believe they should be able to get it without any contest. A little fight going down here in the middle. Rakan jumped really low. The dude walks away and says, "Not even close."
Not even close. Yeah, I know. Now having that Rift Herald in hand again, so they already have that first bot tower taken care of. I'm assuming that they're going to try to push this top lane in here, as it looks like they're going to head with the Rift Herald. No, as I say that, eat my words. Miller actually heading just back towards the jungle, farm some camps. No need to use it currently, as the drag now coming up fairly soon as well. They want to get vision set up for that. Try to get the lead.
Yep, and OSU Scarlet might save that Rift Herald for around a dragon fight to maybe force OSU Gray to have to choose between the Rift Herald and Dragon. But we'll see how this goes in the next 15 or so seconds. Cyborg crushes down that last outer tower. However, Fire is not caught out. Almost was caught out though. And currently Gray has the positional advantage here when it comes to setting up for this Ocean Dragon. However, they are sitting on some vision. Knight's trying to get some vision of their own.
Yeah. So Gray seemed like they were in a pretty good spot, but being forced to back off. QAQ has that teleport up, so if a fight does end up breaking out, they can get down there fairly fast while still split pushing over there at top. They got to be a little worried here. I'm sure they know there's no Renekton top. We don't see any of the other players. They're all going to be there ready for this dragon, and that they are taking it fairly fast.
Yep, Gray is just giving up this dragon. They're saying, you know, we don't need to fight for this right now. We can keep scaling. They've earned a teleport in for this dragon. We're fine. We don't need to worry about it. 2-1 on the dragons now. Ocean Dragon over to the side of OSU Scarlet. Some resets across the board, but right now Gray is just trying to stop the bleeding. Now they have gotten some of this gold deficit back. It's still sitting around the 5-ish K mark, but it was 5K about 3-4 minutes ago, and it's still staying around that same 5K mark. The longer this game goes, the better that is for them if that gold lead does not balloon any further.
Yeah, you're really just going to be looking for, if you can get those solo picks, maybe you try to collapse here on this Renekton, throw in 3 guys to try to get him out there so that way you can push that top lane and get a tower, start making up that gold lead even more. But as I say that, it looks like they're going to be going towards this bot side here. They know that tower's low, but again, you can't see anybody on the side of Scarlet other than this Renekton fighting at the top lane here. They know this Poppy's hovering around though, so maybe trying to bait and engage.
Yeah, definitely looking to potentially bait and engage, and Pyre might be getting caught out. He is caught in the quickness, he is caught in the scatter of the week, he is caught in the bounce house, and he is sent once again back to the fountain here. And it looks like OSU Gray is saying, Scarlet can punch, so can we. They grab themselves their first tower of the game. They're slowly bringing that gold lead back down to now about a 3K gold deficit instead of that 5K it was just a few minutes earlier.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to kills, Gray in that lead now, like you said, the gold lead getting shortened more and more every single fight. They can manage to scrape up here. Blue, though, hitting a level 11 spike here. That ult is going to be really, really strong going into this next fight here. That looks like might be happening as everybody's kind of gathering around this top side right now.
Yep, QAQ might be getting caught on out here. However, you've got Gray coming on in. You've got Zaya coming out with the ultimate. However, the all-out comes in, takes Blue down. The Featherstorm is not enough to get her away. Dante flashes on out. Cyborg is going in. He wants the kill. He wants to take down QAQ. QAQ takes down Knight. And looks like it's Poppy and Renekton versus the world. The Yor and the Croc. What can they do? Now it is just the Croc. How good is he gonna be when he takes on 3? Pops out the Zac passive. Is still looking for more. Forces the flash out of 2M. But he might just end up sending himself to the grave, delaying as long as possible. Big Blowdrinker Croc comes on in. However, the Unleashed Power gets back off cooldown. And looks like, my friend, Gray's in the lead now. They've got themselves, they cleaned up house so well on that fight. Absolutely decimating the side of OSU Scarlet.
Yeah, I mean, Gray, now we've seen it from them multiple times. They seem to be a lot more better at these team fights, able to make it through. Not necessarily unscathed, but definitely in way better of a condition than Scarlet have made it out of all of these. It's really just down to the objectives that Scarlet seems to have this advantage. Right now, this Zac probably looking for another gank here. They have 3 members compared to the 2 here. The bot lane going immediately onto Blue.
Yeah, but immediately the great entrance and the quickness forcing the flash out of Blue. Let's bounces on again. Knight might have to be the sacrificial lamb here. However, re-engage coming on in. Poppy, yeet. Rakan on out of the fight. And they do end up picking up the 1 kill. Cassante goes all out again. QAQ is looking to try to still be unstoppable. You've got guys coming on in. However, they end up taking down QAQ here. And it looks like we are coming back to a bit of a standstill.
Yeah, no, that fight somehow ended up a lot less bloody than I expected it to. I was really, figuring I was going to see people on both sides going down, but Scarlet ended up coming out on top, and they're going to try to throw that all the way towards this Baron take. They're down the Zac, they're down the Cassante. They don't really have too much of a tank here. You have that Rakan, yes, but with that Radiant Virtue not having its passive up, and
a huge shockwave coming in here, and OSU Scarlet is coming on in there looking to clean up house. They've got 1, they've got 2. 2 bodies hit the floor. However, here comes QAQ coming back on in with the teleport, forcing Scarlet off the Baron here. But a very strong punch back from the side of OSU Scarlet.
Yeah, and even though you aren't getting that Baron there, you're still super happy with how that turned out. You not only got another pick, you got a teleport out of the Cassante, and you know that Gray are not going to be trying to take that Baron once you leave. So they're more than thrilled with how that turned out here, as they're trying to take that gold lead back for themselves. They're going to be trying to fight for this dragon. They need to get some vision down. Gray need to control this space. That way they can start off this team fight the way they want to. Last time it seemed like they weren't able to get too much out of it, not able to kill Blue or Knight in that engage. So, of course, snowballing that, they just ended up losing that next team fight. Hopefully, they can find a way to turn it back here.
Yeah, but really the ultimate advantage is on the side of OSU Gray. You still have Shockwave. It's about to come off the cooldown, but as well as The Magnet Storm, it's going to take a little bit longer for that to come off cooldown. So Gray has a small window to work with, but they do have ultimate advantages here if they want to try to use it.
And the engage seems like it's just they're flirting around with each other right now. The Zach is going to be the one to start us off.
But immediately, we've got the Kaisa coming on in here with the Pillar to see how Shockwave catches two. And we end up having Knight going on down. He's traded on out. We've got 3 taken down from the side of OSU Gray and 1 taken down from the side of OSU Scarlet. That is a definite worth trade for the side of Scarlet, and they are rewarded giving themselves a soul point here with that second dragon. However, the fight's not done. Cyborg is looking to catch on out. 51-50, the bird damage from the Leandres. It is enough. Fire is on fire on a killing spree, burning away his fellow man of competition here. And 2M is not long for this world, trying to get away. However, the command, the ball, 1 ball is currently compared to 3 balls, it seems. And immediately OSU Scarlet turns their sights onto the Baron. There is not a chance in hell that Gray is going to steal this away. And we've got 5 men in this, wearing scarlet and purple right now, going back to base with now just about an 8,000 gold lead in this first game.
How scary must that be to see that Renekton dashing at you? You think you get away, and then all of a sudden he gets a speed boost. That's just got to be terrifying. And of course, catching out both of those players there from that. Now moving forward, Gray, I don't really know exactly what they want to do to look in here. You just want to try to find some kind of mistake come out from Scarlet being in the right place at the right time. So it's just going to be, you know, where are you rotating towards? Where's your Zac going to be sitting? And those hard hitters, you don't have all those stacks now on that Darksteel that you did before on that Syndra. So looking at it right now, you're going to want to be trying to get one of these bounties. That Orianna's probably going to be your best bet, despite having that ultimate online. Basically every fight, they're ready with it.
Yeah, Orianna still does not have any defensive items, so with the exception of Merc Treads, there should be an easier target for them to hit. But the big difference I've been seeing right now is the fact that we do have Miller really utilizing that steadfast presence a lot better in these past couple fights than they were earlier in the game. And I think that's making a huge difference on how Scarlet is approaching some of these fights here.
And that it has, but oh man,
one, and immediately the flash coming in from QA2. They look for the fight. However, Knight comes back in, counters with the Magnet Storm. Let's bounce, is trying to bounce the house around. Unleashed Power takes on down Knight. He's sacrificial lane. You end up actually trading out 1 for 1. You've got both supports taken on down, and currently in this environment, if you're OSU Gray, 1 for 1, even with it being the same roles, is definitely worth it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since that Syndra got the kill, so now they're stacking up that Darksteel again. Hopefully, they'll be able to use that, just that little bit of extra AP from that might be able to get them going as they're building towards Azanias as well. So once they do get those stacks, there's a good chance they will keep them, hoping that their teammates are going to be able to peel for them going into this next fight, as it seems like QAQ wants to try to stop this Orianna from pushing, but maybe met with a little bit of a surprise around the corner.
Yep, with only 40 seconds left on the Baron, immediately Miller takes out Zac, and QAQ is not long for this world. Blue is back, and he's hitting with a vengeance here. Looks like the inner tower's going in. OSU Scarlet's looking to try to get at least 1 more tower out of this Baron buff with the last 30 seconds that they have left.
Yeah. They just really want to get this push going here to try to take over these towers. As long as you can get that down and get over towards that inhibitor, so that we can start getting those more powerful minions going in here and just kind of pushing the lane forward. You won't have to worry about it. Then you can just keep moving on to those other ones. That's what's going to really set them apart here and let Scarlet take even more control over this map as they have all of these lanes pushed in.
Yep, it looks like we got another little pause hiccup here, but that's okay. We're just chilling for the moment as it looks like the stream is trying to catch back on up. But currently, as we are sitting here in this pause, you've got OSU Scarlet 10k up on OSU Gray. If you're Gray with 3 minutes until Baron, minute 50 until Soul, what is your Hail Mary to get yourselves back into this game?
I mean, you can't necessarily go for a massive trade there. You gotta be concise. You gotta pick that dragon. You don't want to give up that soul because, I mean, you're the tanky team over on Gray right now. You have that Cassante, you have the Zac. You want that soul to make them even more tanky. And if Scarlet gets that, even the squishy characters are just going to be put off a little bit better inside of fights, getting that health regen going through there for them. So you want to go all in on this. You probably want to focus down that Xayah as fast as you can here. There's just so many shutdowns on Scarlet right now that if you're trying to trade, you want to get a trade for those three right now. The Poppy, it's going to be very, very hard to take down unless they find a way to overextend it to the backline. The Orianna still doesn't have a Zanya's ready or a stopwatch even for that matter to protect themselves. So right now it looks like they should be in a more favorable spot when it comes to team fights. They just need to go through their bottom side jungle, try to clear that vision as fast as they can. Once they see Scarlet back, it's got to be all gears towards Dragon.
Yep, absolutely. Those are the two targets that they, on the side of Gray, want to come at to be able to come out ahead to have a chance against the side of Scarlet. But unfortunately, the game has hung up. However, we do have the result, and the results are, drum roll please, we have ourselves a winner of this game one, and it is OSU Scarlet. Not too much of a surprise there with them having a 10k gold lead on Soul Point. They kind of could have done whatever they wanted there. Apologize for the stream going down there, everybody, but we do have the results of game one. OSU Scarlet 1, OSU Gray currently 0. But I don't know about you all, but that was a hell of a great first game. Back and forth team fights, and man, oh man, is it good to be back casting some good old-fashioned Midwest League of Legends here.
Yeah, and we're not done yet. Like we've said, this is a best of 3 series. So while Scarlet may have won that first fight there, they're not out of the woodworks yet. You know, Gray still has a chance to come back into it. We saw some really good plays being made by them early on in that first half in team fights there. It seemed like they were a little bit better at either getting the majority of the trade or just kind of dominating overall. So I'm really hoping that going forward, they're able to continue that through into the later game. But time will tell, as we'll see what they even can draft this next game.
We definitely get to have ourselves a fun adaptation here. It'll be very curious to see what both Scarlet and Gray decide to do to adapt to what they want to do for game number 2. And remember, this is a best of 3, so at all points now, it is match point. It is do or die for OSU Gray. And on the other side of the bracket as well, that we currently are not streaming, we do have UC Red versus UC Pink for University of Cincinnati Red and University of Cincinnati Pink. UC Pink is currently 1-0 in their series going into their second game. So again, we are guaranteed Columbus versus Cincinnati finals, and we're going to be cutting it over to a break. But when we return, we'll be back for game number 2, OSU Gray versus OSU Scarlet. Stay tuned. Welcome on back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, summoners of all ages. We are in game number 2 of this semi-final match between OSU Gray and OSU Scarlet. Ohio State Scarlet took that first match, and now we are here into our second matchup here. We've got Poppy, Amumu, and potentially a Master Yi as the ban. I'm doubting it's going to be a Master Yi, but who knows? We might be in for some surprises here. And once again, I am Basket of Knives, and I'm joined here by Mito here, giving us the color to my play-by-play casting here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see how this ban system is going to go here. It looks like Gray's deciding to ban the Poppy. They don't want to run into that again, and also ban the Kai'Sa. It was their own pick, but maybe they're still afraid of it being in the hands of Scarlet to work out too well for them here, as it seems like the bans from Scarlet are staying pretty much the same as they were the first game. Amumu and Lilia got banned. If they want to go completely the same, they could be banning this GP right now.
Yep, and the only difference on the side of OSU Gray here, who was elected to stay on blue side, is that they changed out their Jace ban for a Kai'Sa ban. So they might be looking for something powerful for this first pick. They might be going for the Kai'Sa themselves, or sorry, the Xayah themselves, saying, okay, we banned out Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa and Xayah are the 2 premier AD carries. We will take the other one. Or they have something else lined up their sleeves.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they're cooking up here, as they're going to like to go for the Rakan right away, possibly here. So Scarlet may be forced into going this Xayah.
Instead, they're going to first pick the Rakan. Now, that's an interesting first pick. Normally, from at least the way that I go about my drafting, is Rakan I typically utilize as a counter pick because there's a lot that you can use to just kind of dissuade him whenever he tries to go in. But we'll see if OSU Gray's got something to cook up here. Following up with a Maokai and Jace pick. So that Jace that was banned out in game 1 is now coming back here for OSU Scarlet. We'll see if that ends up biting OSU Gray in the butt later in this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little worried about that. You know, if that's one of your first bans you're going to be going through, you know that it's got to be something you have to watch out for. So not quite sure what they're going to want to try to run into that here, going with the Silas and Rakan for their first 2 picks here. Are they going to leave the Xayah open for anyone to pick still? It looks like they are.
Yep, and a Silas and Sejuani picks here. So we got Silas in the mid lane and Sejuani. Silas is, again, it's another interesting pick. Currently, they do have the Maokai, so that's a great ult to steal, but that's about it. And with the early Silas pick, OSU Scarlet can always pivot now to say, hey, you know what, we're going to take some things that don't have too advantageous of ults for you to steal.
And now they pick the Rel, so they have their support, they have their top, they have their jungle. Of course, Maokai and Rel could be swapped either or, but for the time being, I'm going to assume it's fair to say Maokai is going to be the one hanging out in the jungle while Rel's the support. And Xayah now being banned, they're not going to let it go through no matter what at this point here. So interesting to see that going through as a Renekton gets banned in the top lane. Jace, maybe they expect this to be more of a mid pick.
Yeah, it could be mid Jace, could be top Jace, could be really Jace anywhere. I mean, I'm not saying it should be Jace ADC, but they could just play it AD carry if they really wanted to. That'd be a little whack, but you never know.
Yeah, no, you'd like to see a little bit of a silly off meta going on there in case they were to do that. Sivir being banned there by Scarlet, it looked like. Didn't quite show up, but that's the last name I saw, so that's who I will assume they banned here. As Gray going into their final ban, they're probably going to be looking to ban some kind of mid laner here. So maybe the Azir, maybe the Orianna they just faced themselves into. As time dwindles, still making their decision.
Yep, and they also got rid of the Renekton. So they, again, do not want to deal with the Renekton from last game. They are trying to get OSU Scarlet to show something different. Zeri is the final ban. So we got a lot. We have 4, 5 AD carries banned out on this game. And so let's see now if on the side of OSU Gray, if 5150 can manage to make some noise by having a little bit more of this advantage with all these bans. And they do end up taking Ezreal as the pick here. Your residential, I'm going to show up at Worlds because I somehow become the meta at Worlds.
Classic. That's honestly fan favorite ideology behind that one. Ezreal, I'm excited to see the Ezreal. I love when big plays get made from that. And then also, I mean, if they get a cross the map ult kill, that's always a clip. You always want that in your repertoire, as they're going with the Lucian here as their ADC to combat this Ezreal. For their final pick here, they're going to be going, I assume this is going to be their top here.
Yep, looks like it'll likely be top, unless for some reason, again, we're getting Sejuani top or something else. But OSU Scarlet saving potentially their top counter pick for their side here. They are going with Darius, so they're definitely going for somebody to fight with, and that's what you want. If you're going to pick Sejuani, you want melee solo laners. You want to be able to proc that Sejuani passive as quick as possible. And well, when you have a Silas and a Darius, you can make that happen.
Yeah, and Scarlet for their final pick, hovering over the Jax, and it may just be that. As yes, they are going to look to go with the Jax here. So immediately looking at both of these teams, Gray, very close quarters engaged, get the fight done fast. Meanwhile, Scarlet, a little bit of an in-between here. They have the engage with the Maokai ultimate and just the Rel in general here, but they also have Poke going through, the Jace and the Ezreal. And then, of course, this Jax, meanwhile. I mean, now I'm a little confused. I'm assuming this Jace is actually going to be the one played mid lane here, as Jax will be fighting the Darius top.
Yep, that seems like that's likely going to be the case. And it's both well, so the issue that you have on Gray's side is that they are a very short range composition. with really not too many good ults for Silas to steal. And on the side of OSU Scarlet, they've got a lot of potential disengage with the gate, with the acceleration gate from Jace. You have the Maokai ultimate, you have Arcane Shift, you have Leap Strike. There's a lot of ways that Ohio State can disengage from these fights, as well as just keep their distance with Ezreal poke, Jace poke, and Maokai sapling. So I'm questioning on to how Gray is going to find their way into the fights here.
Yeah, that's definitely going to have to be the thing we'll wait for. Sejuani, I assume, would be there engaged, but of course, if you just miss a Sejuani ult, Silas, they're going to be the ones matching around, hopefully trying to find that Maokai to be the ones to go in. But yeah, like you said, short range, it's going to be tough for them to actually engage here. Scarlet seems like they're going to have advantage over the team fight, so Gray really probably want to focus on getting that objective benefits there, going ahead in that category instead, maybe, which last game seemed to work out for Scarlet. So Gray adopting that mentality, perhaps?
It looks like they're going to be trying to adopt that mentality, as well as just trying to probably fight early and often. Again, fighting around these soul laners, they want to utilize Sejuani to get Darius and Silas ahead. If they can control some of the side lanes, then they might be able to control these fights. But it should be very interesting to see just where this all goes, and kind of if OSU Gray, if this is their best look they've got to be able to bring this back. You know, they, again, the one thing that I'm at least reflecting back on is Rakan first pick. You said, we're blue side, this is the most powerful thing in the game that we want to get in this game. Will it work out for them? I honestly don't know. It's difficult to say.
Yeah, and you have that Rakan, you picked it first to go in here into the bot lane, but the Ezreal, if he just holds on to that E, he's just going to be able to leave whenever he feels free. As soon as he dashes away and gets out of the fight, the fight's already over. There's not much more you can do until maybe you hit level 6, where Rakan can try to charm him over towards the Lucian. I'm assuming Lucian is probably going to end up bringing out an exhaust if they want to try to get some wins here early. Maybe they elect to go with a cleanse like they did last game, however, on the Kaisa. It's going to be tough for them, I feel like, just immediately looking at the draft.
Yeah, it should be. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. However, the barrier of execution for Gray, to me, feels so much higher than Scarlet, because Scarlet's got the long range, they've got the poke, they can do the setup around objectives. And Gray kind of has to try to disrupt their flow. Not let things get to late, where you've got a 6-item Ezreal or a built Jace just poking you for half health with every Q that goes through.
Yeah, first 10 minutes of the game are probably to decide how the whole match turns out on match point. As Scarlet up 1-0, Gray really trying to scrounge something up here. Scarlet has kind of a jack of all trades comp. Meanwhile, Gray, maybe more, since they're focused all on the same plan, can make the fights work out in that way, maybe forcing these objective fights, making sure they can control vision in certain bushes, so that way they can kind of catch Scarlet off a surprise, mayhaps, and really force them into a fight that they may not want to take, is really how I see them trying to play this one out.
Absolutely, and just should be it really should be an interesting time. And again, it's OSU Gray, their backs against the wall, they're down 0-1, they want to force a game 3. They want to make Scarlet work for it to get into these finals, but we'll see what's going to happen here. We're on a bit of the spectator delay, so we are going to end up cutting it over to a break. But while we are, spam that chat, hashtag Gray win or hashtag Scarlet win. Let us know who you think is going to come away with this game 2 victory. Is Gray going to be able to come on back from the brink and send us to a game 3? Or is Scarlet going to sweep aside the Gray and go right into these finals? We'll see you all again back here in a few minutes for the Game Arena Autumn LAN semifinals. See you soon. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift, everybody, for game number 2 of this semifinal matchup between Ohio State teams. We have Ohio State Gray on the blue side, Ohio State Scarlet on the red side, and on the sides of these mics, we have myself, Basket Knives, and we have Mito. How we doing for this game 2, Mito? What are you thinking?
I'm really excited to see how it plays out. I'm expecting to see a lot of aggression coming through from Gray. They're oriented towards this early game, and they get spotted by this ward trying to, I don't know if maybe they want to actually go for the invade here and try to steal this red, or merely see if they can get something out of this, just a little bit of vision. Darius and the Jax, though, about to meet face to face. Let's see if they actually try to go for a trade here. The Jax starting it off.
Immediately within that Counter-Strike, we'll see if the Conqueror passives can build up for Darius well enough. He does the bleed going in. However, Cyborg is looking. However, he flashes. They both flash, and first blood comes to the side of QAQ. The bleed and the Conqueror is superior to Lethal Tempo and the Counter-Strike.
Man, you are super happy about that on the side of Gray here. Before, they weren't quite able to get that advantage top lane, but they have to stay. The Jax made it back in time using that teleport. QAQ has to stay in a position they really probably don't want to stay in right now. They only have that D shield up. They're half the health, so they actually are gonna kind of be at a disadvantage at the start of this laning phase, funny enough.
At this point, if you are the side of OSU Gray, QAQ is saying, hey Sedge, come gank. He's got nothing. He's got nothing. Gank him. Put him behind. That's what they're wanting. So we'll see if they do. It looks like Sejuani's doing a full clear on this blue side. However, you've got Maokai coming up that same side as well. We'll see if there's any gank coming on through. Huge chunk, though, coming out. And Ezreal does go down. Blue gets taken down with 3 summoners burned from the side of OSU Gray. So OSU Gray, again, they're coming out aggressive. They are saying, we are here to fight. We are here to win. We are here to defend our honor for the state of Ohio.
Yeah, really, the only thing not necessarily going good for Gray right now is probably this mid lane. But, of course, as I say that, they're able to force the Jace to go under tower. Going to be low here. The Sejuani should be able to pick this up a flash, just making sure they can secure it before they get out. But they're close to that blast going. Fire surely doesn't make it away from this.
Oh, and he's looking to get on out. Is there the dash to disrupt, to displace? No, but it ends up being enough damage. The Ice Flail with the Cinnamon Roll on it for the Poro takes down Fire. Gets rid of all summoners in mid lane, so they are even on that side. However, the kill advantage obviously going over the side of Fire. But definitely a good start from the side of OSU Gray. They are coming out swinging. They are saying we will not be denied potentially a third game. Even right now, you've got Darius, QAQ coming in with still even just matching the CS, even having to stay with that disadvantageous side of the matchup. Is able to come out swinging with this. Currently, you've got Blue being still up in some CS. That wave should be absorbed mostly by the side of 5150. 2M might get caught out here again, though. Miller is looking. However, the Accelerate Shock Blast misses, and so gets to walk away. Still both about at half HP, so the next jungle gank will probably determine this. It looks like Miller's not done. He wants a little bit more. How he's about to be spotted out by Dude. And so we'll see if they go for this play. Dude spots him on out and says, get the hell out of my jungle. You are not welcome here.
And
it looks like they're just going back to some posturing, maybe even potentially an early dragon coming up here.
Yeah, this fight's about to get scrappy here. They want these early game fights. A nice knockoff, getting Dude under the
fire going on in. The flash out from the Dude survives. However, here comes Knight coming back on in, looking for that kill on 2M, and 2M does go down. Do we get another kill? Miller also going on down. The 20 passive procking on Knight. And it looks like the side of Gray is really coming out ahead, securing themselves already 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, they're happy right now. This is what they wanted to play towards, this early game. Get this advantage going and try to snowball it to end this game as quick as possible and don't let the scaling come through. But it looks like they should have a chance to get this dragon once the Silas comes back online. It looks like they might have liked to actually stay back, though. Maybe go for a gank here at top once this Jax makes their way back into the lane. Try to spiral this lead here. QAQ's found themselves in a good position. They've got to be worried about this Jax with the Sheen.
Jax still does not have that flash back off cooldown. It looks like Cyborg should still be in a fine enough position. Has the Sheen, so he definitely has some good combat advantages into this Darius. However, you do not want to fight into this big wave that you got stacking up towards you.
Yeah, And immediately just running back. They're like, okay, you're already trying to trade with me. Don't worry about it. That's your wave, I guess. Go ahead and have it. It'll come to me eventually.
Yep, did not want to deal with the potential apprehend and just said, I'm going to leap strike to my ward and get out of here. We're trading back and forth. We've got Fire and 2M going in for some fights. Have a pretty big wave coming in. However, here comes Sejuani. Here comes the massive portal, and Fire's got nowhere to go but over to the fountain. No teleport for him either, so that small wave is going to crash on him, but shouldn't be too much disadvantage for him. And it looks like QAQ is still trying to punish this Jax. There's a huge wave coming in and ends up using the Noxian Guillotine. Is not enough to kill him, however, this is a tough way for him to stay in, and we've got a gank coming on in. You've got Sejuani and you've got Silas. They are looking for a fight for Flash, the counter strike. It is not enough. QAQ with the Flash to counter that counter in a fight going on in the bot lane. The culling coming on in. We've got Knight who is ignited and ends up getting tapped by the Lucian. And here comes Maokai. We've got Miller. Miller wants revenge for his Knight. He wants to take him on down. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make their way on out of here. Can Blue and Knight make the magic happen? We've got everything being blocked. However, Knight does end up... 151 does end up going down as well as Dude. So we do end up trading some back here. So it's still just about a 1K gold lead here. And 2M takes away the Jace Hammer for him. Not doing a whole lot with it. And it looks like we might be looking for a bit of a reset here. We'll see if Sag is going to delay here. Stay a little bit longer. I don't think they really want that. But wow, what a huge exchange. What a massive amount of chaos on this screen.
It's been absolutely insane. I mean, I feel like I'm really digging this Sejuani pick right now. You're focusing on your top and mid, not really worrying too much about the bot side. Maybe if you're down there getting some camps, you start to feel a little more worried that you have to go in for that gank there. But you have the melee mid, you have the melee top. So just able to build those stacks so fast. The Sejuani is just always going to be able to freeze them. Going for those tower dives, absolutely great plays there by them. Looks like right now they're just kind of fighting for who's taking control of this top lane and trying to set up vision around the dragon.
Yeah, actually no dragon going forward. Another Noxian Guillotine coming in from QAQ just to try to dissuade Cyborg, who is still managing to fight really well into this match despite being down. Despite being 0-2, is still actually trading decently well in the 1v1. However, Dagonair is not trying to let this be a 1v1, and it looks like the Apprehend's going to catch out Cyborg, and the Noxian Guillotine sends him down to the grave. Another kill, 2-1 here on this Darius. 9 kills on the side of OSU Gray, 14 kills already. We've got the Magnus coming in, however, we have Nature's Graph. We have everything coming on down, and 2M is not long for this world. Sent on back, and it looks like they're not done. We have the side of OSU Scarlet coming on down. They're looking for 5150. We'll see if he can get himself on out.
It's really tough. He's still hanging out a tower. That wave's not necessarily underneath, so Scarlet probably aren't going to look to go for that. That was a really nice counter gate there by Miller to actually turn that not only in their favor so that they could back off, but eventually getting that pick onto the Silas as well. Still, both teams hanging around the same amount of gold, just a little bit of an advantage going on for Gray right now, as QAQ is starting to run down Cyborg, but they make it out.
Yep, Cyborg should be able to make his way on out of here, unless he ends up getting himself spotted out. He might be trying to do the good long run here. He's gonna probably get found out here. Run, Cyborg, run! Turn on the Benny Hill thing so you can get yourself on out. However, here comes Rakan, here comes Silas, and there goes Cyborg.
Yeah, that's tough right now. I mean, your Jace, your mid lane is currently your saving grace right now, as the massive CS advantage has an extra kill, but not an extra assist here, as the Silas does now starting to get that Dark Seal stacked up. So you got to be worried about a little bit of a snowball going in there from them.
Yep, and on the side of OSU Gray, they do have that Rift Herald available for them whenever they would like to use it. Send it either mid or probably bottom to try to break those towers open. Still no one's gone for this first dragon here, so it seems like they are content fighting each other and not necessarily fighting for any of these objectives.
Yeah, which makes sense when you're on the side of Gray, because you want to try to get these early games, so maybe you can just bait out the fight. But speaking of a fight,
and Fire's trying to say, I want to counter jungle, I'm gonna do it myself. However, Flash comes on out, and it looks like Negra's gonna be able to get themselves away. But a very aggressive play from the side of Fire, really trying to take this battle into his own hands and saying, I am going to pick this fight, I'm going to win. And because of how low Sejuani was, does give the opportunity for Scarlet to take the first dragon of this game.
Yeah, it feels like it's starting to slow down a little bit here. Objective being taken by them. You've got to be a little bit worried at this point. You're starting to lose what snowball you might have here. I mean, that was a great play by the Jace early on, but it might even be a greater play onto this Lucian to try to get him out of the fight. You may have an advantage, but not for long. Trying to push this wave so they can get underneath that turret and take out that Lucian, but no dudes there ready. The saving grace, if you will.
And the other thing, too, the important thing, that 1K gold lead that Gray had, it's still 1K. It hasn't moved in about 5 minutes. So as this game goes on, that means less and less for the side of OSU Scarlet, which means that Gray needs to accelerate this game. They need to find a way into this game. You have a 0-5 Jax on the side of Scarlet and you're down 1,000 gold. You take that if you're the side of Scarlet. It looks like Fire might be caught out. He's got no mana. He has no mana, and he's probably going on down, trying to delay as long as he can. He's shock blast from 2M from the stolen ult going in. And is Fire going to make it out? No, he's not, but he is going to get the culling out. So delays long enough to make it difficult for OSU Gray and forces them to have to blow more than they probably want to for that.
Yeah, and I mean, while it may stink that you have to use so much there, Scarlet's probably happy with that engage, knowing that Jace is really the one that's up in these team fights right now. See us a little bit more on the side for blue here, but other than that, there's not much they have to go off of. There's a big engage coming through right now.
Engage immediately, that blast plant taking people on out. Knight's coming back on in and is taken down. Teleport coming in from Fire. And OSU Scarlet brings down the hammer and makes the rip bloody with Scarlet, taking 3-0 in that fight. However, Cyborg is still in some danger. Force a flash on out after the Noxian Guillotine. That tower's still standing, but not for very long. It's going to go down here in 1 or 2 autos. And without the bleed passive on him to take turret aggro on QAQ, he is forced to walk away. So first tower goes to the side of OSU Gray.
Yeah, which is nice. They needed that because they had just lost their gold advantage. Scarlet went up about 300 gold at the end of that engage there in the bot lane. So getting that and evening it back out for them is very nice. But as I say that, of course, now they're back up to another 3 above. Scarlet have found their way back into it despite the slight deficit at the start of the game here. Now slowly but surely getting that back and now leading it by just a tiny bit.
They definitely have that lead. And also critically, the Rift Herald was never used from the side of OSU Gray, and it looks like dude is getting caught on out. However, he's making his way on out. Thanks to Lucian backing on up. But missed opportunity from the side of OSU Gray not being able to get that Rift Herald off due to Negra being in the grave.
Yeah, that sucks when that happens. But right now, it looks like what sucks more might be just losing your support here. The Maokai are coming.
The Maokai all night is blocking everything and the kitchen sink for his AD carry. He's being the best support he can be, and he sacrifices himself to save blue.
Now that you know you're going to be down that rail, now's the time when you want to try to start putting some vision down and try to take some away here. Now they're stealing that Rift Scuttle top lane there. A little salty about that, but the bot lane.
We got a 2v1 here. We've got Jace and Jax into a Darius. Will they be able to get through and get the pick? I do not believe so. The Ghost being procced by QAQ was able to get him away. costing also the teleport from the side of Cyborg. So great escape from the side of QA2, and he is a huge chunk of this lead that Gray currently has. And 5150 forced to flash on out, otherwise he would have taken another shot to the face and likely died.
Yeah, and there's that poke coming through that we know Scarlet has the potential to throw out, as, like you said, 150 just got stuck under that tower, getting hit with thing one after another after another. Had to make it away somehow, and Flash unfortunately had to be used there.
And now we've got 2M coming in with passive. We'll see what comes on in with Jack's ultimate Knight jumping on in, immediately destroying on the side of OSU. Gray gets absolutely decimated. We've got 2M destroyed, as well as QAQ taken on down, and Scarlet is saying, all right, enough games, boys and girls, enough games, everyone. We are taking this game to our hands. We are decimating these inner towers, and we are setting ourselves up for that second dragon over here of the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, success is in sight right now for Scarlet. They've done everything they need to. They made it through that early game and even pulled back. They did go down a little bit there, but through slow plays and just waiting, stacking themselves up, getting those Muramanas now online here. That Ezreal, despite not having many kills, has great CS going into this fight, or going into all these other fights now. So I think Scarlet did exactly what they need to do. Gray's gonna have a very, very tough hole to climb themselves out of here. They're gonna have to like win a team fight and then immediately go to take towers to just try to make up for that fact. And even then, I don't know if it would be enough.
Yeah, it is going to be tough. You're now looking down the barrel of a 3K deficit, 2 dragons, and you've got Rift Herald available. You've got Baron here in 2.5. And you've got 2 items on your mid and your 80 carry. You almost have 2 items. Spear Shojin coming in soon for Cyborg, and 2 items coming into this Malphite here soon. So it'll be difficult, however, not impossible, as QAQ is still trying to put the team on his back, show the team his axe, and take down the side of Fire, and likely getting Gray the first turret of the game for them.
Yeah, right now, second turret of the game. Right. I'd really like to see if they go top here and try to take that Rift over, but actually it's Scarlet, even though they're the ones that are down a player, saying, okay, well, let's take this really quick before Gray get a little bit of a notice that because they have the man advantage, they'd probably be up in the fight here. You know, take that Rift, try to probably throw it over towards mid. They have most of those towers taken away already.
But immediately Fire's coming back on and utilizes the teleport to try to get on there, as well as Nature's Grasp coming in. 2-shot barrage. Swing and miss on that one. However, they still end up trading 1 for 1. Fire goes down, but he takes 5150 with him.
Yeah, this is all in Scarlet's hands right now. They have the Rift. They're pushing this wave up. The tank is low, but the engage still going through.
Yep, QAQ flashing on in, getting the decimating hit. We'll see if it's enough. We've got 2M coming on in. Blue is arcing, chipping away. However, the Noxian Guillotine comes on in. Miller's forced to flash on out. And the tides are still turning. However, the Apprehend pulls him back in. 2M takes him on down. And Gray is still trying to fight tooth and nail to send us to a game 3.
Yeah, immediately 2 players backing, want to get that health, want to spend that gold they now have in the pocket here. They aren't quite able to take over that mid tower, but that is to be expected. They're in a better spot than they were just a few minutes ago. As now Gray seems like they're going to be able to shorten this gap up a bit. Baron's coming up here. We still got a little bit more for drag, but maybe you get that vision ready, hang out towards that bot side just in case Gray decide to do it before you. Scarlet have that advantage in their pocket.
And now you do have Spear of Shojin completed for QAQ. You've got Navori and Kraken for 5150. So you do have some key items coming on in, and Knight might be getting caught out. However's able to jump on out, still caught out by the Grand Entrance. And oh my gosh, Blue is frozen solid and shot right in the face. He's going on down. Still some help coming in from Fire, but isn't going to be able to get away with that. And it looks like OSU Gray is trying to maybe turn their sights more towards Baron. I doubt they still go for this. There's a lot of poke on the side of Scarlet. However, QAQ has found a tree. He has an axe. We know usually how this story ends. However, normally you're not also fighting a giant worm too. However, Miller's still probably going down. He still ends up going down, as well as Knight. He is taken on down. Fire taken down along with them. However, axe versus worm. Worm win.
Yeah, worm always wins when it comes to the 1v1s, it feels like. So good job for the Baron securing that win percentage more in their favor.
You know, you sometimes wish that that the neutral objectives would have bounties on them if it killed a person. Like they start to accumulate gold or experience or something, you know, value or stats by everyone it kills. That'd make the game fun.
Yeah, or like if it would like emote whenever it killed a player.
Oh,
this is like a little BM, like the ram is like, okay. Like that'd be great.
That'd be funny. That'd be a good time. That'd be a good time.
Yeah.
But we are at a pretty decent even game state. We are less than 2K differentiates these teams. Now the one thing though is that there's a lot of towers for OSU Gray to be able to take. They only have 2 towers currently to their name. There's a lot more on the map. They really need to try to break open this mid tower to be able to really break open this game. Because right now, as you can see, Scarlet can just control all these choke points in the middle of the map, poking with mystic shots, with accelerated shock blasts, and with all those saplings, makes it very difficult for OSU Gray to approach around any of these neutrals.
Yeah, and they can't really help but not try to go
might be caught out. Got the quickness coming on, and it catches on out. Cyborg forced to utilize the stopwatch. Knight coming back on in with the Magnustorm, looking to make some weight. However, down goes Knight. The Darius hitting 2. He takes down 2. We've got another stopwatch coming in, and the tree goes down. Miller's taken on down. That is 4. OSU Cyborg is the only one that walks away. We've got 4 hitting the floor, and we've got OSU Gray making pings on mid tower and on Baron, trying to put this game really into their hands and force a game 3.
Yeah, they don't have the Sejuani, unfortunately, to try to take this fast as Smite, but I don't think they're going to have to worry about it being stolen, as all these players from Scarlet still down. Good call here to get this Baron. Now they can have people maybe going for split pushes here, forcing fights mid. They're able to take that tower. The Silas staying in mid for that one. They're not going to go for this drag, though, so they're going to probably decide, okay, we'll send a person or 2 near the drag just to kind of like keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, everyone from Scarlet, or at least 4 of them, will probably be down there at the drag, so that gives Gray an opportunity to make up for these towers that they're currently down.
Yeah, but with the accelerated recalls due to Baron, OSU Gray can definitely look to try to come in to get Scarlet away from having soul point. But with Cyborg splitting in the top lane, you not having a teleport player up there in response, you can see that 2M is down here with the rest of the teams. They are saying, all right, we're going to 5-man this Baron. And Scarlet's saying, okay, go ahead. You get 1 Mountain Dragon. We're going to try to go for a tower here. Good true shot barrage attempt from the side of blue. And right now, if you're OSU Scarlet, batten down the hatches, clear some vision out, minimize your losses.
Yeah, and even if, let's say, Cyborg may have overstayed their welcome, or if there was already somebody getting ready to go in onto them, Cyborg, if they end up trading, awesome. If they end up getting a kill, amazing. If they end up getting that turret, there is no real bad scenario for Cyborg there. Even if they end up dying, there's not much they can do right now, being 1-6-1. They have the Divine and the Spirit Sojin, so they can still put through some damage, but you're not going to be gaining too much gold from getting that Jax, and it's not really going to open up the map for you that much. So very low risk with potential high reward there. Good call by Scarlet.
Absolutely good call. So what's likely coming through now, those of you wondering on the side of Cyborg here, going for a Zanya's Hourglass 3rd item for the Jax. This has been coming into meta pretty well for just being able to always have that stasis available to then be able to jump in, pop your stasis. By the time your stasis is done, you got Counter Strike and Leap Strike available to you again.
yeah, really just lets them kind of keep up a longer tempo with Jax, which is nice. So excited to see that being used here. Hopefully we'll see that pan out in their favor, but looks like Gray is going to be just taking over this tower. Scarlet kind of just has to give it up, just going for that poke to maybe find themselves in a more favorable position there. Not quite able to be as hyper aggressive as they probably wish they could, though.
They want to be as hyper aggressive as they are right now, but right now it's just they want to play the waiting game. We can hold out, we're not losing anything, we're down less than 1,000 gold. Looks like 2 of them is using the stolen Malphite to try to go in. On Cyborg, we're kind of just wasted here. That's a pretty strong ultimate to end up wasting. Time Knight's looking on in. He's going on in on 2 on there. Can they get the pick? They do shut down on the side of OSU Scarlet, and they take 2 for none. OSU Scarlet ends up taking down 2M and Hennenegra. What a great comeback play from them to really push themselves back in this game. However, you do have QAQ on OSU Gray pushing through, getting minions all the way to inhibitor towers.
Yeah, I mean, Scarlet, during that fight, you could tell a silent but deadly predator waiting for their moment to strike, and that they did, getting that 2-0 fight advantage. You did lose out on another tower on your bot lane, but you know, you're shortening that gap little by little again here. Dragon still got a bit before it comes up. Same thing goes for Baron. So right now it's just going to be going through into these different lanes, seeing if you can find somebody a little overextended, a little pushed up, and punish them for that as hard as you can.
Yeah, definitely looking for some punishes here. And for OSU Scarlet, again, it's all about this poke. You're seeing those mystic shots coming out every second here. This is what you want. If you want to be able to come back into this game and really push it to be able to say, hey, it's 2-0, and we just go on and fight UC Pink.
Yeah, no, they're still got plenty of space to make mistakes here. Is Fire finding themselves a little bit farther away? This could be what Gray means, but the back coming through, they have no idea that Fire is there, but Fire doesn't know that for sure. Decides to slow down, poke down at QAQ, and run away as fast as possible. Scarlet playing that slow game again, being those predators waiting to strike at the opportunists, if you will. As moving forward, I mean, down so many kills, but the gold being neck and neck is absolutely insane.
Yep, and check your timers, everybody. We've got stopwatches. We've got Zanya's on Cyber. We've got Zanya on Miller. So there's a couple very critical stop buttons that OSU Scarlet does have at their disposal. However, you also have a Nafta's Chains on Sejuani completed, which I'm curious to know who she's put that on, but that's a pretty strong item to have. Hopefully locked down, likely either Cyborg or Fire.
Yeah, I feel it's pretty likely that it's on Fire right now. They just have so much in their kit to be doing damage to them. Meanwhile, Cyborg still has some damaging items, of course, but ultimately just down a little bit less. So I'm assuming that's what the threat is going into this fight, as right now it's just kind of battling over actually this red side jungle for Gray, making sure that they can't get any vision onto the drag.
Yeah, definitely want to minimize their vision, suffocated on out, putting themselves on soul point here for OSU Scarlet. And right now they definitely have all that time in the world available to them. If you're OSU Gray, you're probably going, all right, cool. You guys want that? We're just going to shove mid, get vision around Baron, take the dragon. We're going to either take mid, take Baron, or maybe even both. Dragon's already taken down, though. And you do have Fire on the back, does have teleport available, so likely grabbing maybe a Spirit Chosen himself. And then getting ready for this next fight. You do have Major Graph coming back on in, however, he may be a little too late. No, but the Baron is stolen. Miller flashing on in, popping the Zanyas. Here comes Darius. He ends up taking one down, however, goes down to himself. Cyborg is still in this fight. He is here to play. Down goes 2M. Can OSU Gray get on out, or Scarlet just secured themselves a spot in the final? They're trying to get themselves on in. True Shot Barrage comes on down. Cyborg taken down. However, ends up being exchanged back on through. 2 left on each team. However, once again, OSU Scarlet is rocking the Baron buff.
Yeah, I mean, that's great for an amazing steal from Miller, which this was, dare I say, game deciding if they were able to not only get that Baron but win that fight. Their push would have been absolutely insane by the side of Gray, so even if they weren't able to end it, they still probably would have gotten down to those last 2 turrets, maybe even taking one there. And then at the end of that fight, Scarlet is taking it, they're taking kills, and then Peniagra goes in to tries to even it out, maybe set up some picks to be made there, but the bot lane duo is a little too far away to actually go in off of that, and unfortunately we're able to get anything there. Scarlet just really delaying this, making sure that they have this opportunity to scale, and scaling they are.
Yep, they're definitely scaling into this late game, and you're seeing how scary the poke is from the side of Ezreal and Jace. And so now that we're coming into these late games, you know, 60,000 gold apiece with red buff, with Baron buff. We got a lot going on. 3 minutes till this dragon, though, so nothing for a while. So OSU Grey just has to find a way to clear out these waves and not let Scarlet break their base yet.
Yeah, I mean, the wave clear is really good for Scarlet because they have all that poke. They can just fire at that wave super fast. Meanwhile, the best wave clear they have right now on the side of Gray is that Lucian, and they still have to get in kind of close, so they have to be worried about getting engaged on by either the Rel or the Maokai, maybe even the Jace if they try to go in hard. They don't have the flash online, so not worried about that probably, but still something in the back of the mind.
Yep, definitely something that they're going to have to consider. And again, they've got about 40 seconds left in this Baron, so this wave and the next wave, you got double cannons trying to do some damage on these towers, as well as mystic shots, accelerated shock blasts, and everything that OSU Scarlet is throwing at Gray. And they will successfully break open this mid inhibitor tower, take this mid inhib, and have themselves set up well for just a reroute into the top lane here to hopefully take some more towers.
Yeah, they're not done yet. They're hungry. Their tower appetite is anything but satiated as they continue to go in here at the top. They might even try to go for the inhib. As I say that, though, it looks like they probably back off here, just throwing that little bit of poke they have at the side of Gray to make them worried about going in, hopefully there for them. Ezreal comes through and does a decent chunk onto those players there at topside.
Baron buff wearing off it likely? No, they will still. They forced down the health bars far enough to do all that poke that they can, Scarlet can just come right on in, grab themselves that top side tower, and it looks like the Gray's starting to say, all right, enough's enough, we're going for a fight. However, with all the ults exchanged on out, we get a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, Gray just trying to throw in as much as they could to force a fight, but a well-timed Maokai ult just allows Scarlet to walk out. Just another day in the park for them, leaving all the enemies behind them, just sitting there rooted in the ground. Now they get to back, they have all this gold, hitting those breakpoints for certain items now going into this, what could be massive dragon fight here as they are on point for Scarlet. Gray, though, are going to be the ones there first, probably.
And one thing critical from that fight, although there was no lives taken, Blue did lose Cleanse and his flash, so less mobility on this Ezreal to be able to work with here. He's popping the ghost, trying to get in for a fight here. Not able to get anything. And the supers pounding down in both top and mid. Gray has to make a decision. Do we fight and fight for this Mountain Dragon, or do we relinquish Mountain Soul, Scarlet, and hope that we can out-team fight them with that extra shield that they will get from getting that 4th dragon?
Looks like they just have to get up that dragon, which I mean is the right call, because even if you do end up winning that fight, you're not really going to be able to go in on any of these towers. You don't have the waves built up. You might as well clear these massive waves that are making its way towards your Nexus towers. I mean, losing out on that Mountain Drag Soul is not only terrible for Gray, now not having that extra bit of tankiness, but Scarlet, them having it is so terrifying, because now even if you do decide to do your all-ins, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to burst someone down fast enough.
Yeah, definitely no guarantees able to burst someone down, and with all these other defensive items put on them as well, it's so difficult. It looks like 2M might just be done here, but no, he's not. He's popped in. We have a big team fight coming in. The stolen Maokai coming on in. Knight jumps on in. with the ultimate. Not enough though, however, Blue is taken down. Blue is taken down. Knight is also taken down. We got 4 dead on the side of OSU Scarlet, for absolutely 0 on the side of OSU Gray. Cyborg is queuing up the Benny Hill theme and running on away, but what a counter punch from the side of OSU Gray. They are not done yet.
No, that was an absolutely fantastic play there by them. And now, just off of that, they're going to be able to take this Baron. And I assume they're going to try to keep some people hanging out in the top, keep clearing these waves, push up as much as you can here. They're going to get this Baron buff and just try to run all the way to the bank with it potentially. I mean, this is terrifying for Scarlet. You felt like you were in such a good position. You just got the soul. You decided, yeah, we'll go all in here. We win these fights no matter what. We're tanky. We're strong. We have all this damage. And then all of a sudden, if you're Cyborg, you're like, where'd my team go? They're all just watching you in black and white.
Yeah, the unexpected stolen Maokai ult is the deadliest. And indeed it was. And that's just a little bit of hubris, a little bit of, hey, we are invincible, we can win. And then just Blue without either of those summoners just ends up getting caught out, getting taken down. However, you do also have to consider there was a lot that was sacrificed for that. You are seeing a grand total of 2 summoner spells available for OSU Gray. Sejuani's Flash and Rakan's Ignite. So they use a lot to be able to pick that fight. Luckily, Baron is not up for another 5 minutes, and Elder's not up for another 3.5. So we should be pretty good on summoner spells being available. And at this point, I'm not seeing a lot of empty slots yet left. So people are probably about done building everything up.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty soon just going to come down to one team fight to decide it all here shortly. Whether that's going to happen before or after Elder is really the only question I have, because I feel like both teams don't necessarily want to play it any kind of risky right now. Scarlet's just trying to push in waves, and Gray answering that call there, making sure they don't get pushed up too far at least. Inhibitors respawning, so the waves now won't be as strong. They're going to lose it on that Baron buff before they're actually able to go in on the towers like they probably wish they could. But ultimately, that's what they needed. That Baron buff coming through to help them clear the waves and keep their waves healthy going forward is super nice for them. Yeah, 2.5 minutes till Elder. I feel like that's what Scarlet's going to be waiting for here.
And Blue Inhibitor is about to spawn that top side, so all inhibs will be back up. OSU Gray has farmed up to being dead even, up 300 gold. It looks like they're looking for Blue. They're trying to catch him on out. We'll be able to get out, utilize the cleanse, utilize the arcane shift. Over here comes the frozen prison. Blue's still looking to get away. The dude is down. The dude is down. Here comes the stolen Maokai ult. Cyborg is still caught out. Pops the Zillions. Goals golden. Knight still looking to come on in, and that is 2-3 taken on down. And with just Sejuani and Darius left alive, I am not sure if OSU Gray can hold out from Scarlet's onslaught. They've got some waves coming on in. They can do the round robin of all 3 inhibitors, but they are looking just to defend with these last 3 minions. However, if they don't defend these minions here, they might be taken on down. However, they're going in for them all in. They're going on in. AQ's taken down. Sejuani is taken on down, and Ohio State Scarlet comes back, almost throwing away the game to 2-0. OSU Gray and make their way into finals versus University of Cincinnati Pink. Holy crap. What a banger of a game.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely insane. That first game, I wouldn't say was a complete runaway with Scarlet. You know, yeah, they seemed like they were at the advantage for the majority of the time, but that second game, wow, that just felt so up in the air. It could have been anybody's at any point of time. Both teams played that super well. I just really came down to them having probably that Dragon Soul going into that fight, able to find a couple people, just a little bit split up. Whew, man, that was close. What a great 2 games to watch.
Oh, absolutely. What a great 2 games to watch. You know, credit to OSU Gray, the adaptation that they had in game 2, the early fire that they pulled out and they played with. That was so impressive. That shows a lot of credit to their early game powers. They had to clean up some of their mid and their late game. That's where they started to fumble, and maybe it's just some of the veterancy on the side of OSU Scarlet kind of shows through. Those veterans are able to show what you can do in mid and late game situations and how to recover from those deficits. But at the end of the day, we knew that one team was going through, one team was going home. OSU Scarlet pulls it back, shows their grit and their toughness, and wins and earns their spot in these finals that we've got.
Yeah, and not only did they earn their spot, so did UC Pink with a 2-0 against their sister team, UC Red. So those are the two teams we're going to be seeing in the finals. And honestly, with how Scarlet just played, I'm assuming Pink also played fairly well. Both of these teams are going to be having a rough match, going to be very heated, close, and even all the way through, no doubt in my mind.
Should be an exciting finals matchup. That's going to also be a best of 3 that we've got. We've got UC Pink and Ohio State Scarlet. We're going to be cutting it over to a break, but when we return, we'll be gearing up for our finals here at the Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open. We'll see you all soon.